IVM.
As soon as we give a toy to a child, what do? Naturally, they will try to feel it in the beginning and then they would want to break it open. That curiosity only exists in a child. Now, if you observe carefully, there is engineering involved in manufacturing that toy. But when she tries to see what lies inside and how this toy was built, that is called reverse engineering. Today's sip of finance is just the same, reverse engineering. In the world of finance, it is called estate planning. Welcome to A Sip of Finance podcast by Priyanka Acharya. I'm your host Shanali, and this is a lady special podcast that will help you get better with your finances. Conceptualized by Priyanka Acharya, a financial consultant who simplifies a lot of financial jargon for you. She comes with 14 plus years of experience in this field and has helped many grow their money. So, you can now learn simple finance not just in English but in 7 other languages. Let's get started. Ankita got her first salary 2 years ago. She was so delighted to see that credit message in her bank account. She already had a full list of what to buy for family, friends, everyone. For so many years, she used to just get pocket money from her parents. Of course, they did everything for her. They fulfilled all her demands. But the pleasure of withdrawing from your own ATM card, the pleasure of swiping your own credit card is beyond any other happiness, right? When we earn money, we obviously want to spend it. But then we generally start keeping some of it as savings too, just to be sure that in future we won't have to face any financial crunch. And then someone also comes and tells us that apart from saving, it's also important that money is parked somewhere so that it grows. And we happily spread out money at places we like. Now, after doing all of this, a WhatsApp code flashes one day. Whatever balance you have in your account or investments on the day of your death is the extra money you unnecessarily earned and never enjoyed. So then, you are in the YOLO mood and ZNMD vibe. YOLO as in you only live once, and ZNMD meaning Zindagi na milegi dobara. But then again, life takes a full circle. For a family, for your children, for your spouse, or even for yourself, you definitely need some financial security. And that's when you save or invest or get insurance. Then what happens to all that when you're not there? My God, you start feeling so overwhelmed. Having money is a challenge. Having no money is an equal challenge. To take this stress off your mind, there's this finance reverse engineering, which is typically called estate planning. The first thing to understand is that we all love money and we can't live without it. So when we do estate planning, what we will simply do is that if I have X amount today with me, then I will keep earning and spending gradually. But when I'm no more, the balance as on that date should reach my survivors. If it was just cash, it was perhaps easy. But here, the money is distributed across various places. For being sure that all the extra money goes to your survivor, it is important to take steps in estate planning. One of them is to make a will. Most of you listening to this will say, will? That is something I'll do when I get older. And an interesting fact is that in India, we believe that people make wills only when Yamraj enters their dreams and gives them some intuitions. Let's be a little practical about this. Just like a lot of episodes I have done in the past, let me give you a quick 3-step process in this first part of estate planning. I will continue this in my next episode too. So let's go to step 1. Like I said earlier, when you dedicate your one Sunday in a month towards family financial discussions, review your entire summary too. Now, against each of your savings, investments, and insurance elements, write the name of the person who should get the funds in your absence. It may be your parent, your spouse, sibling, or child. Some people tell me, oh, I just have one son and one daughter. My daughter will anyway have another family, so everything belongs to my son. What's the need of a will? Sorry to break your bubble, but daughters also have equal rights in your assets. Then people say, oh, I just have one son. Then why so many processes? Trust me, even then a will help. Going to step 2. This is a modern trend which perhaps many families don't know. When we saw will templates in the past, they were super legal and so complicated. One of my aunts once even said that this document is so complex that I'm still unsure whether I got the property ownership or not. Times have changed. Now you can make an interesting will document. You can add photographs of all your holdings, the property, the gold ornaments, the shares, FD receipts, everything. So after the summary in step 1, arrange for photographs in step 2 and make your estate planning look really colorful. Step 3. Let us keep it simple. No legal side of it as of now. Create a document where all your savings, investments and insurances are mentioned and the survivor is clear. Even for your zero balance bank savings account, make a mention. Now on the same date as you make this, get your family doctor certificate mentioning that you're physically and mentally fit. Attach this to your will document and then add details and signatures of 2 witnesses who are not your blood relatives. Keep updating this document as you build more wealth. That's it. I have just introduced you to the simplest estate planning step. And well begun is half done. So just go for it. The earlier, the better. Let's discuss more on this in my next episode. Till then, stay tuned. That's a wrap on this episode of A Sip of Finance podcast. We will see you in the coming week. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this podcast helpful, do give us a shout out on social media and tag us. It will help us empower more people. If you want to reach out to Priyanka, she is available on Instagram at Priyanka Acharya and on LinkedIn as Priyanka Acharya. You can listen to this podcast on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts. Do follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to A Sip of Finance by Priyanka Acharya.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey. Hello, everybody. It's been another awesome, great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik speaks with actress Aditi Pohankar about the upcoming season 2 of her Netflix series, She. On Capgemini's Techipedia series, Sheila Aditya talks to Ashish Sharma, Senior Director of Automotive India, Capgemini Invent. They discuss the role of electric vehicles in promoting sustainability. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk discuss the ongoing negotiations between Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and the Pakistan Army. On Ek Chuski Finance, Priyanka lists down the 7 financial promises every bride and groom must make before getting married. And on the Hansvani, here's the story Mukti. It explores the many social prejudices faced by women. We got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcast has just launched its merch line and you should check it out now. Head over to the IVM Podcast website, that's ivmpodcast.com, and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Also, do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. That really does help. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. And also do remember, you can check out a number of our shows on YouTube. You can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube to get a list of the channels that we are keeping active. We also are doing a small listener survey. If you can go to ivmpodcast.com/survey to fill this out, it'll just take a few minutes and it really helps us out. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, Apne Liye, Apno Ke Liye, Jupiter, a digital banking app, Capgemini, get the future you want, Intel vPro built for business, and Intel, future banana wonderful with Intel-powered laptops.